Are you looking for flexible, high-paid online teacher jobs? In this video, I'm going to show you 10 of the best platforms and marketing places hiring English teachers right now. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced educator, I'm going to break down the details of each so that you can decide what works best for you. Hi, I'm Kathy, and I have been an online English teacher for the past 5 years, and I'm here to help you navigate the exciting world of online teaching. I'll explain the pros and the cons of teaching marketplace versus platforms and details of each companies to help you make your next best career move. Let's dive in. But before we jump into the companies, let's quickly discuss the differences between teaching marketplaces and teaching platforms. Teaching platforms offer structured curriculum, a really consistent schedule, and minimum self-marketing, but the pay rates are usually fixed. On the other hand, marketplaces give you the freedom to set your own rates, which can be higher than the platforms, as well as develop your own teaching style. The only downside to the marketplace is that it can take a while to build up your student base and it might require a bit of self-marketing. So while there are pros and cons for each, for teaching on platforms or teaching on a marketplace, I would say that if you're a beginner teacher, you might find it easier to start off with a platform because they're going to provide the curriculum for you and they're also going to help you with your student base. The only downside is that you're likely going to be getting a lower rate than you could once you build up a large student base on a marketplace. Okay, so let's get into what you're here for, and that's finding out who's hiring teachers this year. So first up, we've got platform number one, which is EF Online. EF Online is a global educational company with a very strong reputation. They provide structured lessons, reliable pay, and premium material. On the EF website, they share their requirements for teachers who are going to you are going to need a bachelor's degree. So that is a requirement. It doesn't need to be in English. It can be in anything. So long as you have a bachelor's degree, you meet that requirement. You're also going to have to need to be fully fluent in English, and you're going to need to have a 40-hour TOEFL certificate. They pay about $12 to $19, that's US dollars, via bank transfer. And they're actually a great company to work for. And there's been a lot of really good reviews with them. And they say onboarding is like really easy, as well as the classes are going well. And if any of you are working for EF Online, maybe you can comment and tell me how you find your experience with EF Online. So platform number two, which is Bling ABC, is next on our list. Bling ABC specializes in one-on-one and group classes to Chinese students. They offer really competitive pay between 20 to 30 US dollars per hour, but they do require a bachelor degree as well as a 120-hour TOEFL certificate. Bling ABC only hires teachers from the USA, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Do you have some device requirements that they are going to check during your interview process? So your network speed needs to be pretty fast, as well as you need to have kind of a newer operating system because they're going to check that too. So there's something that you have to really think about if you are going to be applying to Bling ABC. I have heard that the interviewing process is really good, and so is the onboarding process. And it usually takes about 6 hours from start to get your offer. So the demo class, and you have a 2-hour training, and finally, like a mock class. They decide if you passed and you got the job, and then you can process through that. But the reviews say that the process is really well organized. I am just curious to know, do any of you work for Bling ABC? If you have, put your experiences in the comments and let's all see what you think about Bling ABC. Okay, so we're going to look at our next platform, which is platform number 3, TwinX. TwinX is a European platform and it specializes in conversational English for professionals. TX is open to teachers worldwide, and they will pay you in euros. And one of my favorite things about TX is that they are a very flexible company with your schedule. So here you can see that you can choose your own teaching schedule day by day. And if something happens and you can't make it to a class, you can transfer those classes to other teachers. This is a bit different from ABC, for example, who are not very flexible, or it's not easy to transfer classes to other teachers. So if you have a schedule, can change day by day, or maybe you have kids that might get sick or need to go to the doctor and something comes up, you can rest assured that with TwinX, you're not going to get penalized for making any changes to your schedule. You will need a 120-hour TEFL certificate to work for. And again, you can find a link below. The next platform is platform 4, and that is Cambly, which is on our list. Cambly is a teaching platform that is perfect for casual conversational English. It is a teaching platform and not a marketplace, but the lessons aren't nearly as structured as with some of the other places. So it is mostly like chatting with the students, building up their conversational English. You're not really going to have fully detailed lesson plans, but Cambly will provide you with prompts or discussion points or discussion topics to use with your students in your lessons. It doesn't require a degree or even a certificate. It makes it really accessible to apply to them. The schedule is quite flexible and you can log on whenever you're available, and the students can book your class in real time. So you can see that here that you get paid with Cambly weekly, and it's set at 17 cents per minute. That's American cents per minute. So you're going to be making about $10.20 per hour on Cambly, or you make a little bit more if you're teaching kids. You make up to $12 per hour teaching at Cambly Kids, and they will pay you with PayPal or direct deposit, which is really nice. And the pay is weekly, which is also really nice if you're wanting that weekly income. So 5th on the list is VIP Teacher. VIP Teacher was formerly called VIP Kids, and they specialize in teaching Chinese kids online. When you sign up for VIP Teacher, you will have to set up a teacher profile, and you can see, and here they have a job board where you can apply to various teaching positions if you get started. You can apply for some of the positions listed in the website. So, for example, VIP English, guided reading, and then they will have the qualifications for the job that you need to have is like 1 year teaching experience with a degree and 120-hour TEFL certificate. They do ask that you have some experience before, but don't let that stop you from applying to the job. Like, you can always apply, see what happens, and maybe you get in and you can start teaching there, because they're quite a good company to work for. They offer structured lessons and bonuses, and their pay is pretty good at 14 to 22 US dollars per hour. However, they only hire teachers from the USA or Canada. So if you don't have a passport from one of these countries, don't even try to apply for them, because that is the rules of their requirements that they do have. And this is also something that they are really strict with, since they rebrand from VIP Kids. So I don't really know a lot of teachers that are working for them yet, and it was like a complete rebrand. But as I said, if you're not from Canada and you're not from the USA, don't bother to apply, because they won't even look at your application. If any of you are working for VIP Teacher, maybe you can pop into the comments and just let us know like what your experiences are and how easy it was to go through the interview process. Okay, so 6th on the list is new, which provides English classes to learners in Asia and Europe. It's a great option for beginners. The pay is a little bit lower, so it can be anything from $5 to $10 an hour. But while this pay is lower, they have very few requirements. So they are open to native and non-native speakers. So there's no requirements on that and where you are from. And then they don't have any requirements on a bachelor's degree or a TEFL certificate. So you can see that this is really a great option if you're completely brand new and you just want to get your feet wet and discover maybe if you enjoy teaching online or not. So I think that is quite a good option to apply for. Okay, so we've covered some of the teaching platforms that are out there, and we're going to transition over to some of the best teaching marketplaces to work for. Remember that marketplaces are really great because they allow you to set your own schedule and to also set your own pay. But they often require a lot more effort on your part because you have to promote yourself as well as build up your student base. And you also have to mostly find your own lessons and provide your own teaching materials. But if you're a great teacher and you're passionate about what you're teaching, there's no reason that you can't build a really great student base of students who love your classes and pay the rate that you feel is what you are worth. So let's dive into the top teacher marketplaces out there today. And we're going to kick off with a really popular platform, and that's Preply. Preply is, you've probably heard of Preply. A lot of people have heard of it. A lot of people teach for it. It's a very popular teaching marketplace that allows teachers to set their own rates. And most teachers on Prep tend to charge between $15 to $25 per hour. Again, that's not requirement. You can charge whatever you want to charge. But it looks like that's the average to start with. And there's no requirement as to how many hours you can work a week or if you need a fixed schedule. And once again, it's really easy for people who have schedules that are a bit more chaotic and they can't always make it and they need to change things around. So this is a really good option for that. They offer professional opportunities like webinars to help upgrade your skills. And the process is pretty easy to get hired by Preply. So once you sign up and you get approved, and when you finish your registration, you can start teaching for them immediately, which is great. So I definitely would say they're a good option to apply to. The next one, we're going to go on to platform 8, and that's Italkie. Italkie is another great teaching marketplace where you can teach English or even any other language that you use, and you can set your own rates. They say typically run from about $15 to $30 an hour. And to get started, you would click Become a Teacher. And you can, there's a few application requirements. So check if you have a language that you can teach on this list, which should include English, and look and see what the other requirements are. You want to go and you have to provide a great video introduction, and you also have to include your teaching certificates. Here you need 120-hour TEFL certificate. You want to add that into your application for Italkie. Okay, and then platform number 9 is one that I really love, and I've taught there for quite a few years, and that's Amazing Talker. An Amazing Talker allows you to design your own lessons, set your own rates, and you click on Apply to Teach. You can see some of the more details for the teacher. And it also picks up your time zone where you are from. So if you're not where you usually live, you might need to just change that, because say you are in some different country that might not have English as a native language, you might want to change it back to whichever country you are coming from. Okay, so what's amazing, will show up what you earn in your local currency, what you can expect to earn when you're busy or applying. It also tells you what the popular English teaching jobs are right now, conversational English, teaching English to kids. At the moment, I think teaching English to kids, children are a little bit slower than teaching English to adults, and that's a little bit surprising because it takes a lot more effort teaching kids. But you can also see, if you go onto the website, you'll be able to see what is popular at that time. I know that teaching business English is a good option over there, and so is an option for middle school. So you can choose your own niche on Amazing Talker, and you can specialize in that niche and what you are really wanting to teach. So this is a great platform if you really want to be specific, and maybe you don't want to teach kids, you want to do conversational English, then you can just select whatever you want to teach, and only will send students to you from those different niches. Okay, so the last platform we're going to talk about is Outschool. It's another teaching marketplace that allows you to design your own curriculum and set your own rates. Outschool is open to teachers from specific countries only. So here it says, I think at the moment is United States, Mexico, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Spain, or the UK. So you need to be a resident of one of those countries to teach there. So if you're not a resident of one of those countries, it's no point applying because you definitely won't get in. For those of you who are teaching at school, maybe put something in the comments and let us know what you like teaching there and any suggestions that you can give there. Okay, there are plenty of ESL jobs out there, many of which we can recommend here in the list. So don't let this deter you if you're not from one of these countries. Look through the list, look for something and one of the places that you can apply to. I would say that the average teacher makes anything from probably $30 to $100 per hour, depending on what you are specializing in. And often some places, like there are service fees, which, especially if you're working at a marketplace, which will come off of your hourly rate. You just need to take that into account as well if you are working on a marketplace. So there you have 10 of the best companies to start teaching English with today. And let me know if any of these were helpful to you and which company you might think of applying to. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments below which platform you're most excited about subscribing or applying to. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and I will see you around in the next video.